Hello, everyone. In today's episode, I'm joined with Andy, and today we're going to speak to Andy about his autism and wonderful things he does in the autism community and to raise some awareness. So, thank you, Andy, for coming on to speak to me today.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, just to start off with, Andy, if you could introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Well, my name's Andy. I'm trying to think how old I am because it does get confusing. I'm 29. I live in the UK. I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 4, 5. But like that's sort of childhood age, and pretty much what I do generally as a hobby these days is make YouTube videos through my channel Indie Andy, which is a like an autism, like an autism related channel talking about what's like to be autistic, some of the elements of like what autism is, that just that kind of thing really. But really for me it's just a way for me to express myself, share my story, and to help others relate and maybe get the help that they need.
Yeah, I think it sounds great, Andy. Like, what you got going there, like your own YouTube channel where you can, like, I think the good thing about YouTube is that you can put on on your channel whatever you think that you like, because with autism
Mm,
it varies with all different things, and I think it really goes well with hobbies as well.
mm.
I think. Yeah. So has your YouTube channel been around long?
uh it turned 5 this year, so it's
Right.
like 5.5 now. I started it in June 2016, but for the first couple of years I didn't actually do anything autism related as such. Like I did bits here and there
Yeah.
because I don't know, I just did it as a bit of fun. But then um, I went to an autism show in the UK,
Yeah.
and I kind of saw the impact that some of the videos were having, and meeting other people as well who also did then what I'm currently doing. That kind of helped things along, and so yeah, so now it's a full-blown autism channel pretty much. And I'm glad about that. I'm really glad about that though, because in a way like YouTube, it allows people to connect in like a more accessible way and access information in a more accessible way, as opposed to like reading about it, I guess. Which personally for me, I hate reading stuff. So when it comes to like videos, it's just my jam really.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, I'm the same. Like, I'm more like when people say like a show like maybe Harry Potter, for example. Like, people say the books are maybe a little bit better, but I say, oh, I watched the film. I can't read a book. Like, if I read a book, I'll get distracted and I forget where I am. So, um,
Mm.
like videos are the best, and that they can be fun as well. Like, you can how you make them, I suppose. Like, with YouTube, you can you edit videos, you make them the way you want them, which is great.
Yeah, like you can make them to be informative, which is absolutely fine if you want to do that. But sometimes I think it's good to make videos which are fun, because I think if I'm having fun, the other people behind the screen are also having fun watching and potentially learning. That's kind of what I uh
Yeah,
like to do personally.
yeah. Like, I think we learn all the time, don't we? Like, if maybe someone comments on it, like, how much they like it, and then you know you're doing something right because you're getting, people are engaging with your content, and you know, should if people will engage, that's great.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. That's all I can say. I don't deserve it really.
Yeah, like I have my own YouTube channel, Andy, and I don't know what to do with it. Like, I only have about probably under 30 subscribers, and like I do put videos on, but I think I should put more on because I put like maybe a couple on a year, and then I kind of take it on Instagram because I think I prefer. Well, I like YouTube as well, but I get more engagement on Instagram rather than YouTube.
Yeah, I guess for me, like YouTube's just it's kind of easy. It's easier. Well,
Mm,
not easy. No, it's not even easier. What am I talking about? You have to make the content, edit it, and then upload the. I don't know what. I think. I think it just depends what you feel comfortable with. I mean, for me, I like Instagram, but I couldn't post there all the time. I guess it's more kind of personal stuff. Whereas
yeah,
the YouTube channel, I kind of now I kind of see it as more. Um, it's fun, but it is kind of like my portfolio in a way. So if people come to or want to ask me about things, they generally go through that first. So in a way, it's kind of like a portfolio of work without really being work, I guess, because it's literally just me
yeah,
just rabbiting on, really.
yeah. It's as fun as you want to make it.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
like you can. Like, I suppose you got all sort of things you can talk about with autism because I know music goes quite well with it as well. Like, there's different types of music, which it's great. Like you have like do you have a schedule with putting things on your channel? Like, do you do it like once a week, or how would you say that works?
Um, if we were having this conversation a few months ago, I would have said once a week.
Yeah,
Um, I was, but up until recently, I was very consistent. Just the last few weeks of, but not even last few weeks, last few months. It's just been, I don't know. It's been quite, it's been quite difficult, really. Just really busy. Like I got married in the September, so that caught up. That took a lot of effort and just concentration, and then I've just been trying to slowly trying to get back into the world of YouTube. Just, just I don't know, but I would definitely say if anyone listening like wants to get into YouTube, like the one thing I would definitely say is be consistent and don't expect results straight away. Because like my channel's not massive, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it's taken like a lot of work to get to where I am. Pure partly because of me, but partly because of others. It's an equal thing really, but by being consistent, it really helps.
yeah. I suppose it does. Like it's all good. It's always important to have breaks though because you don't want to do it like all year round. Once a week, it'd be. Suppose it can get quite stressful. So it's good that I suppose it's good that your wedding came around September time. So you had that like that break, and then maybe when you feel like you want to or like you're ready. That's a good thing about YouTube that you decide what happens. That when you're ready, you can maybe get back into that routine again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've posted the odd video, but I think for me, some of it's also got to do with like passion and top wanting to talk about certain things. Because I kind of felt, especially before my first break, which was in April this year, that like I took like 2 months off. Like I didn't do anything to do with YouTube, which is not like me at all. Like even when I'm not uploading videos, I'm still planning videos. I don't know. I guess it's like the workaholic in me, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, definitely breaks are good. But I do want to get like actually back into a routine of it because it is fun and it does help people.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think, like that's the best thing about it. I think when you do stop, like you other people who maybe would watch your channel would probably question themselves, but like, how come that like you haven't posted for a while, and then you think, maybe in your mind you think I should be posting, but and then you think I still need this break. I need to think about myself rather than what other people are thinking.
Yeah, definitely. And as well, like I do. doubt myself quite a lot, but then like the people in my audience are genuinely lovely and just take as long as you want. It's not like we're going anywhere, which
No.
it is reassuring.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's always important just to take a break and take us, could be yearly break, it could be a whole year maybe, but I'm sure it won't be that long. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great because like you're doing something right there, Andy. You're doing something right.
uh honestly, I just make it up as I go along.
Yeah.
It's all you can do really when it comes to any kind of creation. Really, just make it up as you go along.
Yeah, yeah, if it wants to be about music, if it wants to be about what you did at the weekend, things happen all the time with autism. Like you have like all sort of things going on, like things that you can agree with, things that are not so good about it, like what goes on. So there's always something to talk about, if you want
Mm.
to base it around autism. That is like, um, yeah, it's just what you choose when you want, where you want to do it.
Yeah, totally. I guess for me, when it comes to autism and talking about it, I don't know about you, but sometimes like even though we all try to be positive and try to be positive influences on other autistic people and talk about autism positively, it's something I've been thinking about recently. You know, it's not always positive,
Yeah. Mm.
which it's weird because like people will talk about it negatively, we try to talk about it positively, but it's not always positive. So it's like when it comes to talking about autism, I do feel conflicted sometimes because it's like, I want to be positive about like autism and just the topic in itself, but it's sometimes hard to do that. I don't know if you've ever found that.
Yeah, like when I was younger and I heard I was diagnosed when I was 9. So I'm now 20, so that is a while ago for me. But at the time I thought it was all bad. There's no positive. I was not positive about it at all, and I said that there's some sort of curse I've got it. Like it got people in the classroom, knowing what they're doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And at times I didn't get sarcasm. At times, I didn't want to ask for help, so I just thought, well, autism is rubbish. Why have I got this? It's like some sort of disease or something. And then I learned it's not. But that at that time, and occasionally I do think of it like nowadays, like. It's not always. It's good to be positive, but not all the time.
Hmm.
Because it's like anything. Like you've got to have your rubbish days. Like for example, for me, so some things with my autism, I don't like crowds, like being mixed with a lot of people,
Hmm.
and I find it hard to probably communicate to new people at first. Like if I join like something new, it'll take time, and I won't be positive about that because I'll just be I I won't want to talk, and it's not me not being rude. It's just I don't want to talk at that like straight away. But
Yeah.
because I think that's one thing with autism that can be hard, starting a conversation with maybe a new person, and they kind of
Hmm.
want you to start it, but you want them to start, and then no one's talking. But yeah,
Yeah. Um, I do find new situations tricky as well, especially when it's new people, because it's like I can be social and be like, "Oh, hi, how's the weather? Have you got pets? Have you got children?" That sort of thing. But it's like, um, I don't know for me, I like try to get not into the like deep stuff, but just get a bit of a better connection with people, even though people would normally see us as not that way inclined. But I guess, while it can be difficult to spark a conversation when we've actually got a good conversation going, it's I don't know, I don't know. it is just a good thing. And I guess as well, when you talk to other autistic people, it kind of seems like I don't know what the word is. It's easier to talk about things, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, these are sort of things with people that have autism as well, rather than a person that doesn't. Because I've come across that people have. I was in a work experience once, and I had to not I went in and said I had got autism, and no one knew what it was, and I said, even serious, you don't know what autism is, and then I found none of them, they had not a clue of what autism is, and I was shocked because I thought nowadays, like, most people have heard of autism at least, and
Mm.
they didn't hear of it, so I had to explain what autism is. That it's not going to be the same for me and someone else. Like, some people may ask for help, and where me, I may not. So that's the difference about it. And I think as you go on, I think you get more confident as you get older. I suppose if you are getting diagnosed later in life, that may be a bit different. But from my experience, getting diagnosed younger gains your confidence and not thinking autism isn't a bad thing all the time. But like, it can be bad, can be good, can be a bit both.
Yeah. I think also as well, like I was diagnosed young, so I can't really talk on behalf of those who were diagnosed later. But I guess in a way, if you were diagnosed later, you kind of just cope with what you have,
Yeah,
and therefore build your own strategies around that. So I guess that's why some people don't get diagnosed until later on in life, and all that sort of thing. I'm not saying that, you know, I, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I've kind of lost my train of thought, really. But no, no, in terms of autistic people, we're all different. I mean, I can very much relate to yourself about crowds and things. The last time I was out in a crowd it was it was it was Black Friday. I went off to Newcastle City Centre to do the last of my Christmas shopping. Didn't I completely forgot it was Black Friday, so I got there absolutely manic. I just wanted to just curl into a ball and just forget, just to kind of get out of the situation. But in a way as well, I I don't know. I I guess if you don't go out and experience things, then you don't learn how to cope with things, and yada yada yada. Um, but do you think autism can be good though, in a way?
yeah. I think it, like, from that, it can help by doing it again, because like once you do something once, I think you'll get used to it. Like, but for me, I've been in that situation where it was. I probably haven't been in a proper crowd before the pandemic, really. So I have examples when I went to see Norwich um, play at Switch, and I was on the Switch team. Well, in the fans, not the players. um, um, and I was in the crowd, and I was surprised. I was really I was surprised about this. Um, I had to go in. Well, I went in. I went in the stadium and thought, oh, okay, I've never been to see Norwich Ipswich at Norwich grounds before, so see how it goes. And go in, and like a stampede it was. Um, 10 minutes, staying there about 10 minutes, and couldn't stay in there. And the funny thing was, because I stayed over in the Premier Inn right opposite the ground, like, and I was in my extra stop, so of course I'm in a Norwich Premier Inn, so I have to cover up. I just can't see my extra clothes. So I'm out there, and then they say, because apparently there's a rule in that Premier Inn where no Ipswich fans are allowed. So a silly rule, really. Like, everyone should be allowed into a Premier Inn, but because
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
funny thing was, I left 10 minutes to go. It was awful from the steward. You tell the stewards, what are you going to do about this? Like, they're letting drunk people in the ground. Um, paralytic as well, and they're staying in and still not doing nothing. I thought it was awful behaviour from them and like the people who were surely arranging it. Like it was it was the Ipswich fans, nothing to do with Norwich, but I know Norwich are a bit abrupt, but but the thing is, I left and I watch it in the Premier Inn because in the Premier Inn you can see the ground, see the pitch from it, which is quite funny. And then they say, like, I walk out and then I say to the guys at the door saying I'm gonna watch it in the Premier Inn. And they said you can't do that. I said why not? And then I said I got a ticket, I paid for it. I'm gonna watch the game in the window. Uh, if you see me, I'll wave to you. But that's the thing. Like I and that crowd was bad. That was like you couldn't move, like claustrophobic. And I I wanted to stay in the game because the only time I've been to put a lot of Carrow Norwich Stadium would have been for 10 minutes. So yeah, it's a good experience that was. But Ipswich didn't win, so I didn't really miss much from the window. And like you had your, it's almost probably watching it on the TV really, but you did hear the crowd. It was like right next to the ground. But I know what you mean about crowd experiences because they aren't nice. But I think the more we do them, because like we have hobbies, like we like bands, like music for example. You might like I went to a Sheeran. He had his tour. I think it might have been 2019. I went to that in Ipswich. Big crowd, like there would have been lots of crowded, packed it
Yeah.
was, and I wanted to go, and I did, and it's just I think these things we have to try that we do feel uncomfortable with, and then the more we do them, the more we'll maybe do them.
Yeah, I think especially uh once lockdowns were restricted, once lockdown restrictions were lifted, I should say. Um, people going out more. I mean, like I have a band, so like I did a gig August 2021. It was the first time in over a year where I was in like a building with like a load of people, like in a confined space. Because obviously before that it was the 2 meter rule, all that sort of stuff. So like in my head, I've gotten used to keeping away from people, blah blah blah, and wearing masks, blah blah blah. And yeah, I have to be honest. Like at first, it was really really odd. Like people just like coming up past you, past me and stuff. It was the most bizarre thing ever. Because like even though it's like a thing that people just do every day, before the pandemic, obviously, it's kind of like retraining your brain to like uh be aware of it and kind of anticipate what's around you and be just be aware of it in general. But yeah, it's it's very odd. It's very odd. I think the autistic brain sometimes, because like I can get easily obsessed with things like music.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. Have you ever done? I don't know if you have Spotify and ever used the Spotify Wrapped thing.
Yeah,
Do you know the thing?
yeah. I know what you mean.
So I did mine for 2021, and literally it was like all of the genre stuff. It was literally like Final Fantasy. It was like future funk as a genre, vaporwave, all of this stuff. I was just thinking to myself, if people actually saw this kind of stuff I listened to, I'd, I don't think they'd be able to get it. It's just like when you get sucked into like a rabbit hole,
Yeah,
where you're like, you know, getting invested in an interest like music, for example. I don't know. It makes being autistic fun, I think, and
yeah.
enjoyable. It's the kind of the good one of the good sides about it. Like you were talking about football before. Is that something you're quite into?
Yeah. I like football, and from being autism, I think we get like as you said, like you get like quite obsessed over a certain thing. Like it could be music. Mine is music. I do like music. Like I rated in my Spotify Wrapped as well, and through that, because I have a podcast, you can do your podcast one. So I did that one as well, and I was like, I did it last year as well. So it would have been my second time I've done the podcast Wrapped that comes along with Spotify. So I did that, and like it's quite cool, like Spotify Wrapped, because you do the it shows you how many people have listened to it around the world. Like you got 12, you may have 12 people,
Mm.
countries, and it's actually pretty cool, Andy.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think I've got a I was doing a podcast on Spotify and stuff. I'm not doing it now.
Yeah.
I sadly don't have the time to do it. But I like featuring other people's though, especially when they ask and give us the time. It is really nice. But yeah, like what was your top 3 podcasts then out of that? I'm just kind of curious.
I think I listen to this. I like this relaxation music sometimes. That was one of the podcasts, and the way they just put music that relaxes you. Um,
Oh,
and that's one of them, and I think one of them's mine because I just go on my own to just I suppose because I tap on it and then I share it to like Instagram and stuff, like because you
yeah.
can, because when it's on Spotify you can share like it so it goes in your story. And another one is a Mighty School Council Lowdowns. It's like Mighty School Council's like an organisation that helps people with autism and different like needs like as well. So I'm an ambassador for them, and they had their own podcast. So I appeared on there a couple of times. So I've listened to a couple of them, and there's a mental health one that I've listened to. So yeah, and like I do like listening to other podcasts rather than just having my own. Like,
Yeah.
I don't listen to the whole. If I have to edit it or change little bits on a podcast episode, I will listen to it and I will change it around. But I don't like listen to my voice back really a lot.
uh I was gonna say when I first started doing YouTube videos, I could not listen to myself or look at myself. It was the absolute worst because like you kind of notice every little not imperfection. I guess it's kind of like you critique yourself a lot more because you're the one doing it. Like if you just put it up, people would just probably think, oh, it's absolutely fine. But then like because of the kind of the autism element, like for me, if I'm doing something off a script, like sometimes I'll use scripts to keep me on point and to make it, because I can't do things really off the cuff, as it were. I tend to use scripts quite a lot, so uh, like I'll muck up words, or I'll actually mix words up, or that sort of thing. I'll notice that I'm like, oh god, why? I love my brain, but why did my brain in my mouth have to do that? you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's like with being like with hobbies. Like I think what comes a lot with autism that I am quite interested in, like football, for example. But I am football coach. I'm qualified football coach. Um,
All right.
and I don't manage like all the top clubs. Yeah, but I because of the pandemic and because I have Crohn's disease as well, which dampens my immune system as much. Uh, so I'm on medication that cancer patients take, so I have to put precautions in place. So because of the pandemic, I've had to stop that like coaching for a little bit, and I know a new variant just come about. So hopefully that won't be here for long, and can get back to some sort of not normal a little bit where you can do the things that you want to do and not have to worry about viruses and stuff. But
Mm.
I did coach. I did it probably 2019. I did an FA coaching course, and it was like, I think it was every weekend it was, and it wasn't easy, especially the first aid part of it, because you have to defib, use that, and then um, that took a while, that did. So I know all about the how to use one and stuff. So because that
Yeah.
comes along with being a coach, you have to know you have to know that. And because when I was younger, Andy, I in primary school, the coach that came um
Mm.
always went, it was PE, and I really enjoyed that. And as I got older, and he was always there since I was like probably in year two to year six, and
Mm.
leaving. So he was there all that time, and then when I was leaving, I thought, oh, I don't want to, because I really like the guy. He's a really nice man. He was, and he because he did camps in other places, football coaching, and I offered to, well, I said, could I help out? Could I help coach maybe? He said, and then I did start to help coaching at camps, like say, like as a coach. And recently, last year, last end of last year,
Mm.
he contacted me saying if I want to just work there, and obviously there has to be different like things in place for me to do it. For example, I need to do um, courses that they want me to do. And what I thought was really good, what he said about it was, Andy, that because I have autism, and a lot of people with autism struggle with sports, um, because they do like to get involved. So with me helping to coach, and I could go back to the primary school I was at and coach there. But I said that I haven't been able to do that this year because, yeah, this year's been manic. I would say,
Yeah.
like COVID's still here. We thought it'd get a little bit better, and I saw the figures from last year's COVID and this year's. I think this year's been slightly a bit worse than it was originally. So which was not helpful. I thought, because last
Mm.
year we all thought this year's going to be okay, not going to last long, and then little we did know it's got worse. So I do hope, even if COVID's still going to be here for the future, but I think if it gets calms down a little bit, I'll be able to do the coaching, which I would love to do. And he's very understanding with me not being able to come yet, so I'll be
Yeah.
just have to wait, I suppose, see when I can do it.
Well, but it sounds good though.
Yeah,
Being able to do do something that you like to do, and
mhm,
I mean I don't know how you use a defib, so
yeah.
that you're kind of up there, you're kind of up there,
Like
really.
I from being like I've got like with Ipswich Town, because they they like they have well, a sport like a sports thing there where they asked if I could help, but um for now I said I'm okay for now. But the good thing is that because I met the last Ipswich manager before she got sacked a couple of weeks ago.
All
uh,
right.
I got his personal number, so I'll keep in touch. I'll keep in touch with him. He's a nice guy, but I think it's just like I do. It's one of my hobbies. I like football, and like other than that, I know it's completely different, but I do like acting as well in my spare time, which I've done. Like I do the podcast. Pandemic helped with that, I think. Like you have all this spare time. Like I created a podcast that I suppose when you think about it, it's not that hard. All you have to do is create a name, a logo, get some equipment, and then here you go. But yeah, the name's changed a little bit for the podcast and the logo, but I do like the logo for the podcast. It's like it's got a ribbon because Crohn's is a ribbon and autism is
Yeah,
a
it's a.
puzzle.
Mm.
So I thought that worked well. So if you were to zoom into the logo, you see a little puzzle which is purple, which I found was pretty clever.
Yeah, I thought it was quite I thought it was quite clever as well. To be honest, I thought it was really nice.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I just thought it was really nice.
yeah,
But I I was going to say, so anything else in terms of like autism that you can think of? Because I think obviously we talked about the social communication, which I think we're doing okay on that. I think we're
Yeah,
doing okay on
yeah,
that.
I think that they can. Yeah, there are some people I speak to that like because you'll know when you're speaking to someone that you can have a conversation with, because sometimes you may speak to someone that you only get a one-word answer from when you answer them a question, and then
Mm,
and then you think it's not going to last very long, this conversation, is it? But yeah, I think social communication is good. Like with like another obsession of mine, I'd say, is Doctor Who. I like Doctor Who. Got a little blue box behind there. So I do like the thing is, if you talk about something you're really interested when you have autism, to some person that's not, they'll think like, why you keep going on about this, but it's hard to when you really like something like music, like
mm.
sports, acting. It's hard to not speak about it. But when you find those people that really like it as well, you don't have to worry about that. Like you can just talk about as much as you want.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've always been a fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. But then I don't know, as I've gotten older, like I've met other people that like Star Wars, and we can talk about things to do with like the shows, movies, theories, and it's just like, you know, my normal 9 to 5, in my normal 9 to 5 job, you know, as much as I like working with the people that I do work with, you know, you can't have a conversation about who played one of the Ewoks. You know, you can't have that you can't have like like an in-depth conversation about stuff. So like I mean for me, I do like Doctor Who. I'm not up to date with it up to
Yeah,
date with it though. I mean,
a
like
bit downhill.
since Capaldi.
Yeah, I'll say since then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of when I did bowed out. Nothing against Peter, but just
his first
uh
episode was awful.
oh, what
Yeah,
was it? It was something to do with being in London, and there was like a dinosaur. Am I?
yeah. Didn't make like I can't like I thought it went downhill since Capaldi was there. That it didn't get any better when the Jodie Whittaker came along. Um,
Hmm.
that like which hasn't worked for her, I don't think. But from Capaldi, he did get better when he left. Like his acting improved. Like he got good and he did alright. But his first the first series he did was awful. Like I didn't think I thought because you had David Tennant that was Scottish as well, and he did an English accent. I thought maybe that would have been a similar. I thought they were similar from when Matt Smith regenerated into Peter. I thought that was pretty similar words. The first words he said I thought were good, like maybe a bit similar to David Tennant when he was Doctor. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, I was proved wrong where it wasn't that great. But who knows? Doctor Who is supposed to be new now, like new Doctor next year. New things, but I think the music. Speaking about music, actually, in Doctor Who, the music is very important. I think.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. It's nice music to listen to.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, I think in a way as well with music for me, I've always preferred like the actual music, not like lyrics and stuff. Because like for me, with me specifically, with me, I do find it difficult to like distinguish sounds, especially if I'm in a crowded place. It kind of all just melts together. Even if I'm talking to someone directly in the face, I kind of like I'm doing with you now, obviously over the internet.
Yeah.
But you know, having that conversation, it just sounds exact. It's hard to differentiate. So with me, like when someone's singing, I can't actually pick up on what they're actually saying. Like some people have good what's called diction, where like the pronunciation's really good, but some people's are just awful. So for me, I'll remember like the melody that they sang, but not the actual words. So when people say to me, "Oh, did you like the lyrics in that song?" I'm just like, "No, I couldn't understand. I couldn't actually understand it. I couldn't actually. Yeah, I just didn't get it." Um, but yeah. So you said you've been to see Ed Sheeran. How was he?
Yeah, he's good. Like, I think I made a bad mistake actually. Not at that show, but I went to when I got my season ticket for his Switch, which unfortunately I haven't gone for a while due to COVID, and no one
Yeah,
like, because I suppose now you can wear a mask, but back then no one did. And but it's been about Ed Sheeran. I went to collect my season ticket, and the manager gifted it to me as a surprise, which is quite good. Um, and I went up to the balcony where I was sitting, and then the guy who organises all that, he asked me, or the photo guy who took pictures. It was almost like I was famous because I had all these guys coming up to me, because of course it goes on its website and everything, taking pictures,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? But he asked me, would I ever like to meet Ed Sheeran? Or like, no, he didn't say in like so many words, but he said, do I like Ed Sheeran? I just said he's all right. So I should have said like he was brilliant. I shouldn't have said that, but hopefully I'll be able to meet the new manager now, and see some, maybe say I like Ed Sheeran then again. But yeah, the concert though, it was very good, but it was annoying that a lady's head was in the way in the front. Um, she didn't really move. But I was a bit. It was very nice, but it was manic getting out like, right at the end, because they said no one was at a toilet. No one. They said no one was going to the toilet. So what happened was, because they weren't letting anyone go to the toilet, you know those little cubicle things, like those
mm.
boxes where
Oh yeah.
people go to a concert. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't allow anyone to go in it. So people were weeing everywhere at the end, like they were wearing in the bushes and everything. And I can understand why, because like, if you need a toilet, like, you'd think they would have let you, but it's their own fault
Yeah.
for not allowing that, because they wanted everyone gone straight away. And it was a fun experience. Back to the car though, Andy. I got lost in the dark. We all got lost in the dark. They'd already parked, so I had the torch. Couldn't find the car. Spent like half an hour, and I needed a toilet. I didn't go on the bus because I didn't want to do that. I didn't
Yeah.
want. I waited till I got home, and that I was. It's awful because of course you're in traffic and everything, and like, it was very good. It was a very good show, and I wouldn't say it's the last show I went to. The last like big crowded event probably I went to was to see um, Snow Patrol, um,
Oh,
um,
nice.
which were very good. I really like Snow Patrol. I like their songs, um, and they're very good. Like, and then the last one I was due to see would have been Harry Redknapp. Yeah, he had a concert thing, like a show of his, and of course that's
Mm.
been cancelled 2 times. Luckily, not fully. They've been postponed. So it would have been this October, which is just gone, but he had to postpone that due to COVID. So that's now next year. So hopefully that goes ahead, because I've got a meet and greet ticket. So I'm at the very front, so I get to meet and greet him, because of course he's related to Frank Lampard. So
Yeah.
which is quite funny. So but hopefully that goes ahead. But yeah, from Ed Sheeran was very good, but the arrangements at the end and weren't too pretty.
Uh, I guess for me, whenever I go to like an event or go out somewhere, because of like me being like autistic and stuff, I very much need to plan ahead, like how I'm getting there, but also how I'm getting out in a way. So just trying to think. So like that trip out that I had on Black Friday, I knew like exactly what transport I needed to get, where I was going to. I knew roughly what shops that I need to go to, because like while I don't go to Newcastle very often, been there in the past, so I know where pretty much everything is. But then of getting back was an absolute nightmare because I had to get the train back, but they were delaying trains because of like a storm. I think it was Storm Arwen or something or other. It was a storm that began with A in 2001. Someone will be able to figure it out, I hope. But no, it's just mental, really. But I guess kind of my question is: are you someone that kind of plans ahead, like plans like going to, going from, and also do you find that you need time to recharge afterwards?
Yeah, I always planning is important. Like I don't just do something and not plan. But I think at that year, for example, it wasn't. No, it's going to get quite dark, and at that time of year, it was like get dark early, and a bit like now, gets dark earlier. But I do have to recharge when I get home because part of like my Crohn's, like I have very bad fatigue, so I get very tired when I do something or go anywhere really. So I feel like I need a nap. Worse than normal fatigue that maybe someone that hasn't got a chronic illness that would have, because I've experienced both. Because I remember what it was like before I had Crohn's and now. So fatigue is not nice, but yeah, I have to recharge and I have maybe have a nap and I get told to wake up because I shouldn't be going to sleep at this time. And then because if I go to sleep maybe when I got home or anything, if I go walk a midday walk and I got home about 2 to 3, had a nap, I'll probably find it hard to go to sleep in the evening if I did go to sleep. But
Mm.
but yeah, I think like just having sort of plan what you're doing does help and make you maybe feel less stressed. But when something happens out of the blue and like you get lost, it can be quite panicky. Like you don't know where the car is. Like you need a torch. Luckily, we have our phones that have torches. But if we didn't have that, it would have been a nightmare.
Yeah. For me, because of me being autistic, I do tend to find that I need like a day to recharge after doing anything, like any kind of like event or anything like that. And I think it's just because I'm getting older as well. Like I haven't, reached the point where I need like a scooter or anything. But like I don't know, I, it's just it's kind of just I just find myself getting more like tired after putting energy into things. I think for me, I like when I'm out and about, I like being in the moment and talking to people and stuff. But that in turn kind of depletes energy. So for me, the day after will literally be me being on the couch, literally just kind of just I don't know, just hoping the sofa will like recharge me, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, not in the same ways, not in the same way that I imagine Crohn's it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
not
know.
you can't obviously compare the two,
Nah.
but I don't know. It does get it does get a bit much. So it's like I want to do stuff, but I have to constantly think, how how will I cope afterwards, which is it's it's like living life really. It's like living life really. It can get a little bit complicated.
Yeah, yeah. Like with fatigue is yeah, it's not ideal. Like I went for a walk the other day, spent the day out walking, and I was shattered, and I had aches everywhere because I haven't been out walking for a long for a while because this time of year I suppose
Mm.
we just feel lazy, don't want to do nothing. But went out for the week. Well, not no for the day, not the week. Well, I did go on holiday for a week, but for the day I went out for a walk with the family and had a nice walk. Um, tiring though. Because yeah, and then you get very tired, and then you want to go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Um, but I guess in a way, like even though like things like autism can be challenging, they can be positives. Like obviously mentioned the hobbies aspect, but for me, because of my job, I have to be kind of, I don't know, aware of what's happening, kind of like attention to detail. So, making sure things are correct and kind of following a process. That's that sort of thing, which it it's helped me massively, especially when it comes to like making content and stuff. Because like I'll like notice mistakes, I'll correct them, and just following a process. It's like literally just doing the same thing over and over again. And like yeah, so autism can be good sometimes. Um, but what would you say is I don't know, you can give like an example or two, like what you like about yourself or your autism, however you want to phrase it.
I suppose I like I think, and the good things I like about it is that now I can talk about it. I suppose that's one thing I think is good about it, that you have the courage to talk about autism, and another is that you can um like I can like reach out to people that have autism like me,
Mm.
that understand properly, rather than someone else that doesn't have it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That you said that your job is pretty similar to what you have to do when making content. What do you have to do like for your job, Andy?
It's to do with like accounting. Uh, so it's not making content in a way, but I kind of see some of the some of the stuff kind of aligns with making content. So, like making sure you're prepared, like making sure you're getting stuff done, and just the kind of general stuff. Um, like the attention to detail really helps. Like I say, um, I guess I guess for me, I was quite lucky in getting my job, well, getting a job in the first place, because when I like uh put my first video out in 2016, I was unemployed and I had been unemployed for like over a year at that point. But then like making videos gave me the confidence in real life, which allowed me to get an apprenticeship, and then I was able to get the job that I'm currently in.
Hmm.
So, so it's kind of weird how making content actually uh, helps people who are autistic, I guess, because my story is not unique in any way, shape, or form, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good when you find maybe like a similar thing that you can do that maybe helps though. It doesn't have to help much, just like maybe something similar about it. But yeah, uh, I think for me, coaching would be, you can make content with coaching, I suppose, with like autism. Like there's all sort of things you can link with autism. Like you have eye contact, which I found was very hard, especially when you're speaking to someone new that you don't want to look them straight face to face or eye to eyes. But yeah,
I was gonna say, even with people that I know well, uh, I do make eye contact with my wife because it's my wife. I'm obligated to. but
yeah,
even though like I make this making videos about being autistic and stuff, like it doesn't mean I don't find the stuff challenging. Like eye contact, I just don't do it
mm,
because because for me, I think if I concentrate all of my time on making eye contact and actually given my attention, then I'm not actually taking in what the person's asking me to do, or like what we're talking about, because I like, just my brain just does not function that way. So I guess similar to yourself, you know, being able to talk about it actually helps, because like I wasn't very confident talking about autism at all when I started. It kind of just grew naturally,
Yeah.
and you know, I I think especially like being guys as well, it can be harder to talk about stuff that maybe people don't get, or maybe it's like not the most like manly thing in the world, but it's like who cares, just just not let it all out per se, but just it's good to actually just talk and be open, especially about something with autism, which can be misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like I don't like looking at, like, I don't, if I talk to someone, they may think I'm looking directly at them, but I probably not. I suppose it depends how well I know the person. Um, like at least you have like an exception with your wife there. Um,
Yeah.
but but yeah, like it's I suppose wearing a mask, you kind of don't know if you are wearing masks around, like you kind of don't know if they are looking at you, like, or they're just
Mm.
looking somewhere else. But yeah, like that's a massive part of autism, I think, eye contact, especially when I was younger. Like talking about like growing into it, I wouldn't look. I would just look away. Didn't want to get asked any questions. I didn't want any of it. but but yeah, it grows on you, like again, diagnosed at a young age, and I suppose that's the best way. Getting diagnosed can be hard, but once you get the diagnosis of it, you know, you won't probably know much about it, but you will as time goes on.
Yeah, and obviously doing your research is always helpful, and all that sort of stuff. But I guess the other thing as well is, like, especially if you're like a parent, or you're getting diagnosed as an adult. I guess actually I think even more as a parent, I think it's something that I've noticed quite a lot as someone that makes videos on the topic. Really, like, parents tend to be uh somewhat pessimistic about the diagnosis, being like, my child's got X issue, what can
Mm.
I do to fix the issue? And it's like I'm not like a professional person. I just happen to live with the live as an autistic person.
Yeah,
Yes, I can relate, but it's not the same as being your actual child, because obviously we're all different and stuff. um but I tend to find the parents can be pessimistic about a diagnosis. Some of them, not all.
mm,
But I think that's purely down to the way that we talk about it. Well, some people talk about it.
yeah, yeah. I think it is important for parents to understand, like especially when you get diagnosed at a young age, like parents, um, yeah, it's important for parents to know what it is they're dealing with themselves, like helping that child and not making them feel. Because some parents will that they won't understand that they won't want to understand. They won't get any tests, and unfortunately, some people probably do have autism and don't know they have it. So having autism does
Mhm.
help, especially with education. Like you have like all these different methods and plans and forms that you have. You may have, like you have now. You'll have something called PIP that you'll have, and like you have a form in school where you can fill out if you need any more help, or maybe go in a
Yeah,
group that needs the help. But if you don't, and like don't say something or say something's up, because it is hidden autism. it can be hidden from people, because some people like me or other people or you that may think that I'm able to do things because you're more
Mm.
talkative, and that people sometimes may presume that autism is just like non-verbal, where someone can't speak or struggles to communicate. But yeah, sometimes it gets symptoms of that.
Yeah, I guess for me, like when I'm in a situation like this one, where you know I get to talk to another person, it's I feel like I just do it because that's just the way it just come comes out. But when I'm not talking to people, or like when but it does take me a little while to get around to the idea of like doing things where I talk for a long length of time, and like afterwards I'm just like, oh, I just want to go into my couch and just do nothing, you know. But
Yeah.
uh but yeah.
Yeah, I think going back to hobbies, another hobby of mine is gaming. So in my spare time, I like to game. I'm not one of those who streams. I don't want to do that. But I'll play some sort of games like FIFA, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe rage a little bit. Take out your frustrations, or some bad maybe happened in a day. But yeah, like that's another hobby of mine. Well, one of the last things Andy, with Star Wars, because of course, like the franchise is kind of finished, like now, isn't it? Like with the last film, what was your thoughts of that? Like with what happened and everything? If you know.
Oh, are we talking about the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. The Rise of Skywalker, where you had all of them come back. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, the Emperor came back. I was not a fan of that at all.
Yeah,
It yeah, I just kind of thought it was a bit of a cop out. Uh to be honest, there were bits of the film that were really good. I think if J.J. Abrams, who did The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker, if he did the entire trilogy all the way through, it would have been at least consistent, you know.
yeah,
Uh, but I don't think it's a bad. I, I don't think the trilogy as a whole is bad. There's good concepts and things like that, which I really liked. But like you, you can't match it to like the originals or even the
no,
prequels. Like some of the prequels were
yeah,
the
yeah,
prequels weren't great, but I think it's the additional stuff that really helps Star Wars,
yeah,
especially like Disney Plus
definitely, yeah.
with like The Mandalorian, absolutely amazing. I mean, the Book of Boba Fett's coming out next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing.
You've got some exciting things for Star Wars. Like I think Disney Plus is all about Marvel and Star Wars. Like you have all that. Like I think at some point you're gonna have I think Obi-Wan Kenobi series will come out on Disney Plus as well. Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to that.
yeah. I think Anakin is gonna be in that as well.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, don't know that much about it, but I mean, just have the fact that you got Ewan McGregor coming back.
Yeah.
That's
It's great, isn't
it's gonna be good.
it? Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Maybe. Yeah. It's good. Like because like with like people coming back, it doesn't seem like they've aged. Maybe guy plays Obi-Wan, the guy plays Anakin. They were they probably make them look like they haven't aged a bit. So it's good that you have all this on Disney Plus as well. Like maybe if
mm,
like films that have been in the cinema this year are coming on there as well, which is great. Like you have, I think, Black Widow, you have um Sanchi, and I presume Spider-Man, new Spider-Man film will come on there eventually, but probably not
yeah.
anytime soon. Yeah,
Probably not. No. Um, but it's yeah. I think next year, like for Star Wars, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be absolutely quality. Um, but I guess to have you got like any other thoughts or anything?
Um,
Because I'm
like with the like with the Emperor coming back, that was a shock because I thought he was dead. Like everyone, like I don't get how he survived. Like that didn't really then make much sense. Like he comes back, apparently he's attached to this thing this whole time to keep him alive, and he's that big. I can't forgot his name. That other guy. That big guy that he was actually Snorf or so, I can't remember his name. Also,
Snoke.
yeah, and he ends up to be him, just in
Yeah.
disguise. So it didn't make much sense. Like like you bring back, I think they bring back Leia, they bring back Han Solo, who unfortunately he died as well, which in an episode in a film, which
Yeah.
was a bit disappointing. And then, like at first, when Han Solo's son actually came into it, I didn't have no clue how he was because he all of a sudden they remake him as probably the next Darth Vader or something. Um, and I wasn't a much fan of him because I didn't really understand it at first because they did an episode he comes straight into it and it got quite confused.
Yeah, but I think his arc was good. Like but personally for me, like I thought it was really good. But yeah,
Yeah,
just is what it is. I think Star Wars does benefit from being like series. Like series though, obviously like your main films to hook people in, but then like the actual, like for me, like the series and like all that sort of stuff. That's kind of where my interest kind of lies, really.
I didn't think there was much needed to be like, a continuation to it. I thought it was finished back when they stopped it. But yeah, if they, I suppose it was an okay end for it. But now we got all these like all these mini series anyway. Like you got, I need like with the Mandalorian. I watched the first series, but I haven't watched the second one. But I did enjoy the first one. I think it's a really good series.
It is season two's. It is good. It is good. I think it's more Star Warsy than the first one, but
Yeah,
it is still good. It is still really good.
yeah, but yeah. So yeah, it's been great talking to you, Andy. Like about like autism, about YouTube channel, about Star Wars, but and music, of course. But yeah, it's been really nice talking to you.
Oh no! I really appreciate you inviting me
Yeah,
onto your podcast.
yeah,
I've had a nice time.
yeah. It's been great. Well, thank you again, and have a nice rest of your evening.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you as well. Hope you have a nice evening and weekend. Nice, yeah, next year.
Yeah.